What's up, my fellow unbearables? It is the late night agenda, and we are moving ahead and looking towards the Manchester City game coming up on Thursday. We've also got some transfer news and lots of bits and pieces in between. I hope that you're all well. I hope that the weather is better than it is here in Ireland, because I'm not going to lie to you, it's been pretty miserable. But you know what? Nothing can dampen the spirits of us Liverpool fans right now, because Jurgen Klopp and this Liverpool team have delivered us the Holy Grail. Did we mention that we won the Premier League? I don't know if we've mentioned that. I don't think we've mentioned it quite enough. As you can see down here beside me, there is a shiny Premier League trophy. We are awaiting the Hendo Shuffle. That will be the Chelsea game of the last home game of the season. I'll go through that in more detail later on. It is a true pleasure to be here with all you guys yet again. Thank you so much for those that are in the chat waiting for the stream to start. Let's get straight into it, my friends, because there's a load of stuff for us to get through. Just a bit of news as well. I'm going to be recording an interview with Dom Rich, who's a Manchester City fan. That's going to go up on the channel in the next day or two ahead of the Manchester City game on Thursday. So please do keep an eye out for that one as well. Don't forget, we're on the road to 40k. As you can see, we're getting really close now. 39,800 subscribers. If you enjoy what we do on the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, please do take a second and hit that button. But look, as I said, we do have a lot to get through, so let's start off straight away with Jurgen Klopp. Today he wrote an open letter to Liverpool fans that was published in the Echo. In the letter, he praised his players, the owners, the fans, Steven Gerrard, and of course, Sir Kenny Dalglish. He also spoke about his disappointment at the scenes that took place at the Pierhead last Friday night. He said that the club will eventually paint the town red with celebrations, but that right now just wasn't the time to be out and about celebrating. He also urged everybody to stay at home as much as possible and don't go near football grounds or the city centre in large numbers. It's pretty basic advice, but it's always lovely to hear the manager just backing up what we all know, really. He finished off by saying that each one of the fans are champions in their own right. And I also think that he said we have a duty to be as unbearable as humanly possible. Well, maybe he didn't say that, but I feel like that's reading between the lines. That's what Kloppo was saying to us, to make sure that each and every one of you Reds out there are being as unbearable as is humanly possible. I'm doing my job. I know most of you are doing your job. If you're not, though, just make sure. If you've got a neighbour, just give me a little rat-a-tat-tat in the door. Maybe just, stay 6 or 7 feet back. If they support United, Chelsea, just let them know. Just remind them. Just say your daily reminder that Liverpool are now the greatest team in the Premier League history. That Liverpool are the greatest side in the world. That Jurgen Klopp is the reincarnation of whoever you like. Insert whoever you like in that sentence. But most importantly, just say to them, you can stick your 30 years, motherfuckers, because the Reds are back and we ain't going anywhere. Anyway, as I said, that was lovely to see from Jurgen Klopp. I know a lot of people were very touched by the fact that they took their time like that to write that open letter. It's something that he said he's never done before, and yeah, look, it's why we love the manager, isn't it? It is why we love the manager. Now, some news broke just before we came on stream tonight that I was just writing as it was getting ready. And the results of the latest round of Premier League coronavirus testing have been released. A total of 2,250 players and staff were tested, with just one positive result returned. As per protocols, that person will now enter a period of self-isolation for 7 days. Now, to date, a total of 19 people have tested positive from the 14,307 tests that have been carried out by the Premier League. That works out to just a 0.13% of positivity rate from those that have been tested, which, if you balance that against the results from the nation or the world as a whole, it's quite a low percentage rate. You would want it to be as low as possible, of course. We'd all love it to be at zero, but at 0.13%, I think that's pretty good. And of course, we wish whoever it was that returned that positive test, hope that they're asymptomatic, and I hope that they're not suffering any illness. But we wish them a speedy recovery if they are. Joanne Fisher, thank you very much for the super sticker, as always, on set. It isn't an Anfield Agenda live stream unless that happens, so thank you very much, Joanne. Really appreciate that. Loads of other stuff to get through tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a little bit of transfer gossip coming up as well. We've got our daily Koulibaly stories, because it wouldn't be a stream these days with the transfer window open without us talking about Koulibaly. And of course, I won't let you down today. We don't just have one, we have 2 stories on Koulibaly to talk about today. One positive and one negative, and I'm going to get to them in a few minutes. I just want to dip into the chat for a second and see how everybody's doing, because I feel rude when I talk and I don't get a chance to dip into the chat, because this is an interactive show. As we like to say, this is your show, ladies and gentlemen. So let me dip into the chat and see how we all are. We're the champions, said Siegfried Noel. Yes, we are. We are the champions. I'm not going to sing it. Every fibre of me wants to sing it right now, but I'm going to hold back. Hello from Barbados. Nice one, mate. Lovely to have you in. Dylan said, is Koulibaly joining? That is the $64,000 question, although that doesn't seem like a lot of money these days, does it? $64,000. Hey, Craig. Waiting for your stream all day, said Sam Southall. Thank you, Sam. Wow. I love the fact that you guys are in here every night. You know that? I keep telling you about the recurring nightmare that I have, that I go on to start the stream one day, there's nobody in the chat. But you guys haven't let us down since day one on the channel, so thank you for your continued support. I'm all smiles, as you can see today, because I'm just in a great mood. I woke up, I feel a bit more refreshed because I got some sleep. Because like most of you guys out there, I haven't fucking slept much. I haven't slept much at all since the Reds have won the Premier League title. Oh, did I not mention that? Liverpool have only gone and won the Premier League title, ladies and gentlemen. 30 years I've heard. Crumple it up, fuck it in the bin, it's done. It's nothing but trophies. It's going to be raining trophies and winners' medals for the Reds from this point out, because, hey, we're the best team in the world. We know it, you know it, and there ain't anything that the haters can do about it other than bow down to Kloppo. Right, just confirm Mbappe already. I wish I could, mate. I wish I could. Tyne Ferk said, just announce him. I wish I could, mate. I wish he did the Melwood lead. I wish we were talking about Kylian Mbappe being here. I wish we could talk about it, but it ain't going to happen, unfortunately, pal. But let's get into some transfer gossip, because I know that's what a lot of you guys come in here for. Much like myself, I keep saying I'm a whore for transfers. I love it. I love this stuff. I read newspapers all day. I read all the gossip columns, and I try and put together somewhat of some decent rumours to talk about. Now, let me start with Ben White, somebody who we spoke about yesterday, somebody who is at Leeds United at the minute, but is a Brighton and Hove Albion player, and he is much in demand. But Football Insider claimed that Brighton will demand an eye-watering fee of around £35 million for Ben White. They say that a recruitment source has told them Brighton want to see the club record transfer fee smashed if they're to let him go this summer. So, I want Ben White at the club. I've said this to you guys before. If we get Koulibaly in, even just saying it makes me laugh. If we get Koulibaly in, that would be fucking great. None of us would have any issues with that. That would be lovely. But just park Koulibaly over here for a little second. We all think that Dejan Lovren will probably move on this summer. He turns 31, I think, next week. And he's going into the final year of his Liverpool contract. So there is talk that he might move on. And I've often said that if he did move on, I'd like us to look at Ben White. But not at £35 million. That is an astronomical fee for this guy. I think somewhere £15 to £20 million is a lot more reasonable. And I'd be amazed. I'd be absolutely amazed if Liverpool shelled out, or anybody shelled out that kind of dough in this market for somebody who is completely unproven in the Premier League. Albeit has done fantastically well on loan at Leeds United. And has certainly caught the eye for a lot of people. But I'd like him, but I don't think we're going to go out and spend that type of money on him. I don't think it's realistic to ask that type of money. But, you know, these things are always just the start of a negotiation. Maybe Brighton just don't want to lose the guy. Maybe they're putting a ridiculously high price on his head. I don't know, but I'll leave it up to you guys. Now, let me get on to the Koulibaly stuff, and then I'll get into the chat and see what you guys think. So, there are two stories, as I promised, around Koulibaly today. Let's start off with the negative one, shall we? So, Sky Sports report that Liverpool are not interested in signing Koulibaly this summer. They say we may well move for a centre-back if Dejan Lovren moves on. But I'm going to caveat that now by moving over to Italy and going to Tuttosport, who claim that Liverpool are favourites to sign Koulibaly from Napoli and are ahead of Manchester City in the race for the defender's signature. Now, here you go. This is what I talk about all the time. This is why people say we're clickbait, someone else is clickbait. I don't write these stories. All I do is get them and give them to you guys, because I know when I come onto the stream, everyone's going to ask about Koulibaly. It's almost a running joke on our stream at this point. And I've said all along, I don't think it's going to happen. In fact, I'm absolutely convinced it's not going to happen. But I'd love if it did. So, who do you want to believe here? Do you want to believe Sky Sports? Do you want to believe Tuttosport? That's up to you. All I'm doing is just opening up a conversation. Now, finally, the title of our stream tonight with regards to the transfer gossip section is about Liverpool chairman Tom Werner. And he was talking about the transfer window in an interview with Sky, and this is what he had to say. Regarding the window, the only thing I would say is that we'll continue to assess the transfer market, which at the moment is unclear, made even more so by the effect that the virus will have, not just in English football, but football around the world. Now, he's not giving much away, Tom Werner, but Liverpool don't usually give much away. He didn't rule out transfers. It is very important to remember that point. He did not rule out Liverpool doing any business. He didn't say that it looks unlikely Liverpool will do any business. He was pretty much sitting on the fence and playing his cards close to his chest. I'm going to hand it over to you guys now. See what you guys think about the Ben White links with Koulibaly. We haven't really spoken about Houssem Aouar because I haven't seen many stories around him other than what we spoke about before. Numerous journalists have said that we are tracking him. We know that the French league is in a little bit of disarray at the minute with regards to finances. Like many leagues around Europe, there was some television revenue stuff to be repaid. The league was curtailed, obviously, with Paris Saint-Germain being declared champion. So I'll hand it over to you guys. I'll dip into the chat. What do you think? Who do you want to see in? Have you heard anything about how much money we have? I remember reading the chat earlier on and somebody said that they'd read somewhere that the Reds have 60 million to play around with. Now, I've no idea where you're seeing that one from, but I'm happy to talk about it because, hey, this is your show. Kev writes, good evening champions, how are we all? I'm feeling very champion-esque, mate. How are you? Lovely to see you in. The LFC 101 said Koulibaly is 29 years of age, and that is correct. And why would we go and spend 60, 70, whatever million quid on a 29-year-old? It makes no sense. Yes, players are playing a little bit longer these days. It's not unusual to see people go 34, 35. Actually, to give you a bit of a heads up today, Chiellini and Buffon both signed new one-year contract at Juventus today. Buffon is 42 years of age, and I think Chiellini is either 35 or just about to hit 35. So there's a perfect example of players who are able to play a bit later on into their careers. I think the whole Buffon thing is absolutely shambolic, if I'm being honest. He is, as a former goalkeeper myself, he's been a hero of mine my entire life, but at 42 years of age, I think it's time to hang the old gloves up. And he's not the Buffon that he once was, I have to say that. But maybe they just like the influence that he has in and around the dressing room, which you're in at Juventus. And who am I to say? They keep winning league titles, so maybe Gigi just stays there and continues to have an influence on that dressing room. Right, what have we got? Too old, give Gomez a chance at Jesla. I'm with you. I'm all for Joe Gomez. I think the only thing is here, we're talking about a situation where maybe Dejan Lovren moves on. Actually, I think it's fairly probable that Dejan Lovren moves on. And then the question is, do we bring somebody in? Nat Phillips, who just gained promotion with Stuttgart to the Bundesliga from Bundesliga 2. Do we bring him back in? Do we give Sepp Vandenberg or Kiana Hoover a chance? Or maybe put them out on loan and bring in somebody for a year or two? These are conversations that I think we're going to have a lot throughout the course of this summer. And one that, I'm always happy to have. And the number one said, as long as Lovren goes the other way, he's fine. Mbappe for Anfield, said Michael Lee. Where are we getting the money to sign Kylian Mbappe? Do you know what I mean? I know people are going to say that maybe we move on one of the front three, but even if we did, even if, let's say, Mo Salah or Sadio Mane went somewhere and we brought in, and I'll pick a number, 150 million quid, where are we going to get the other 100 million from, and how are we going to pay Kylian Mbappe 5, 6, 700 grand a week, which would absolutely blow our transfer, or our wage structure, out of the water? Because I think, now this is guesswork, but I think the highest paid player at Liverpool is currently on somewhere between 180 and 200 grand a week before bonuses. So, you're talking multiples there of the highest wage earner at the club. And in a time where we're struggling to give Gini Wijnaldum a new contract, and we're struggling to give Virgil van Dijk a new contract, I think that should be the priority. Personally, that's just my take on it. And no Gini news, mate. As I was saying earlier on, I'd love him to sign the new deal. He deserves a new deal. And I hope that new deal will be announced in due course. But as of yet, no news. Right, Duncan said, the reason we need Koulibaly is to prevent City from catching us. I think it would be stupid to go out and sign somebody for the sake of preventing him from going to another club. We've seen Manchester United pretty much do that with Alexis Sanchez. They signed him at a ridiculous fee, at a ridiculous wage, I should say, and a signing-on fee to prevent him from going to Manchester City, and that didn't work out too well. Now, I'm not trying to compare Koulibaly, who is in the prime of his career right now, to a kind of over-the-hill Alexis Sanchez, but, I just don't think it's good business practice to go out there and try and bring in somebody just to stop somebody else. And I get what you're saying. Manchester City will strengthen this summer and they're going to come back and try and wrestle this title away from Liverpool. But again, I've said this numerous times on the stream, Don't underestimate the power of continuity in keeping a group together. I've heard managers, including Jose Mourinho, speak about this previously. The importance of keeping a group together and keeping a team together. He spoke about that Porto team, that fantastic all-conquering Porto team that he had, and how it was just so important for him to keep that core group of players together each season. So, look, we didn't bring anyone in last summer, and we improved, and look what happened this year. We're 23 points ahead in the league, which is ridiculous at this stage of the league, and we've won it with 7 games to spare. So do you know what I mean? There is a lot to be said for continuity. Now, I can't argue. I like the idea of bringing in 1 or 2 bodies to freshen up, and I think there are areas of the squad that we need to address. I've been saying it for a long time, and a lot of Liverpool fans have actually. Left back, we need to bring in a backup for Robbo. Up front, there is a massive drop off from the front three to Kumi Minamino, to Divock Origi, to Shaqiri, and I think we need to address that. We need to bring somebody in of a top calibre, but will that person be happy at restricted game time? Because even with rotation, they mightn't get as many games as they would have been getting at the clubs that they're coming from. It's one of the reasons why Timo Werner chose to go to Chelsea. And that, the wages, and the fact that he was feeling the love from Frank Lampard and he was guaranteed more minutes and to be the focal point of that Chelsea attack. So, again, all just conversation points, my friends. But, let's dip into the chat and see how we're all feeling. Liverpool needs strength and depth. We kind of have it, mate. I mean, other than those couple of positions we spoke about, we really have cover almost everywhere. So it is difficult to strengthen. Although I probably sound like I don't want us to strengthen. I do. I promise you I do. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. What do you think we should do with Neco Williams, said CFM17? Nothing. I mean, I think he's developing rather nicely. He'll get more game time next season as Trent gets rotated. He'll get the cups, I'm sure about that. Although I'd like us to go and really challenge in the domestic cups next year. Actually, there's a chance we won't even be in the League Cup next year, isn't there? Because there was talk of clubs participating in European competition not actually being in the League Cup next season. So until we have absolute clarification on that, I don't even know what the situation there is. Cantwell would be a brilliant signing, said Gaz Johnson. No argument from me, mate. I've been banging on about Todd Cantwell on our streams for quite a while. David Maddox said a while back that Liverpool have certainly tracked him. I think I remember James Pearce saying the same, although both said that at the time he wasn't a priority, but maybe those priorities have changed. The fact that Norwich looked doomed for relegation, and maybe Todd Cantwell could be had at a reasonable fee. I don't know, but I'd love him. I agree. I think Todd Cantwell would be a great piece of business. Do you think we should sign Said from Basel? I'm going to be honest here, mate. I haven't got a clue about that guy. I don't know who he is, and it would be just wrong of me to just say yes or no when I genuinely haven't got a clue who you're talking about. So you'll have to excuse me on that one, I'm afraid. Sipsco said, work on the backup left back. Yes, again, I agree with that. What do you think the futures of Karius, Brewster, Ajaria, Grujic, Phillips, Wilson, Awioni? Awioni's gone. Nat Phillips, I'm not sure about. Kane, I don't know if he'll go back and do a season in the Bundesliga 1 or the proper Bundesliga. He was in Bundesliga 2 with Stuttgart. Wilson, I think, would be available to move on if the right fee comes in. And I don't know what that fee is, mate. Who else did you mention in your question there? Karius, again, the Karius situation's intriguing because we've heard both Karius and Adrian come out and say that they plan on staying here, but I can't see that happening. I think one of them will move on. Who else was in your little note there? Sorry, mate. I'm trying to go through it one by one. Brewster, from what I've read, the plan is to send them out on loan next season. Ajaria, gone probably. Grujic is a really interesting one, isn't it? I mean, I'd like Grujic to come into the club. I'd like Grujic to come back to Liverpool, learn from Fabinho, learn from Hendo, learn from James Milner, and really see what he can do, because he's one hell of a big unit of a fella. His manager, Hertha Berlin, spoke very highly of him. He was the first signing under Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, of course, as well. Although, maybe that was from the influence of Buvac, sound that klaxon, because we do have a Buvac klaxon, we're not allowed to mention him. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of players mentioned there, mate, but I think of all of them, the only one I can really think about staying for me would be where we got Grujic. That's Grujic and Brewster out on loan. The rest, I think, if the money came in, they'd probably move on. Who's going to replace Shaqiri, said Mads. your guess is as good as mine. I mean, we all love Timo. We know David Maddock again has come out and said we're definitely interested in him. I think, and I've said this, I know I'm repeating myself, but apologies. I think that we might play possum and try and wait to see how the transfer window goes, and maybe try and get Timo from Lyon on the cheap. But we know Jean-Michel Aulas, the Lyon president, is very difficult to deal with. Any club that's tried to do business with Lyon over the years knows that firsthand. Far Isle said, I sort of think that Gomez Matip have frequent enough injuries that we definitely need somebody, especially if Lovren leaves. One for Robbo, one for up front, for injuries and rest. I agree. I've said about our centre-backs for a long time that outside of Virgil van Dijk, we do have a tendency to pick up injuries just when we're putting a partnership together. Now, in saying that, Joel Matip went through quite a long period there where he was injury free. Joe Gomez is coming back from an injury, and hopefully, he has quite a long period as well. But yeah, it's a fair point, Dave. It's a fair point. Alright, Craig, is sexy Ed said Purple Aki. I'm tickety boo, mate. Tickety fucking boo. I hope you are as well. Look, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see from the massive image here to the side of me, memberships of Anfield Agenda are open. If you want to become a member like Sipsco, like Far Isle, like Liam Granby, Bernard Sweeney, Bernadette Lewis, and everybody else that's in the chat there with an Anfield Agenda badge beside their name, just hit that blue join button. And if you don't see the join button, have a look in the stream description. There will be a link there. Membership to our channel is just 99p a month at the minute, because we are looking at this as we move forward. And you also get access to the Anfield Agenda Discord group, as well as all the cool emojis that Mr. Connor Crosby designed that you can see on that image right there. And also, I know Connor would be very angry at me if I didn't give a mention to our social media accounts, which you can now see there. If you're on Instagram or you're on Twitter, please do give us a follow on there as well, particularly on Instagram, as we're going to be quite active on there. It's Connor's new baby, so yeah, we're quite active on Instagram. The account's grown really quickly, actually, so if you want to give us a follow, it's just at Anfield Agenda on both platforms, and thank you very much for that. Right, let's move on a little bit. So, Unicorn Star Horn Love Roblox. What a long name that is, mate. Who's the champions of England again? Mate, let me just check my diary. I have to go through my notes here. Oh, it's us. It's only the motherfucking Reds, mate. That's who the champions of England are. Thank you so much for the super chat. Super chat gets one. Actually, Newland Voider. There he is. Every time we get a super chat, Newland breaks out for a boogie. He hasn't stopped. He's on a mad sesh since the Reds won the Premier League title. Hasn't slept. I'm upstairs trying to go to sleep, and this little fucker is down here blaring out the tunes 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, bouncing around out in the kitchen. God knows what he's up to. I don't know, but look at him. He's having a grand old time, is El Newland. Good man. Get it into you, son. Go on. Go on. There he goes. Off to bed with him. Right, I hope that, or Danny Ings is on fire, said Gaz Johnson. Yes, Danny Ings has been absolutely class, mate. No denying that. Craig, are you active on Twitter? No, I have retired from Twitter, mate. I don't go near Twitter anymore. Connor runs the Twitter account. I don't go near it. It just makes me angry. Do you know what I mean? I get enough abuse without going on to Twitter to get some more. So, no, I kind of stick clear of Twitter these days. I'd pay up to 25 million for Ben White, said Michael McMahon. How am I, said Scotty. I'm good, mate. I'm really good. Really, really good, actually. Do you know what? I'm champion-esque. That's how I am, buddy. Ben White is class, and that's coming from a Leeds fan, said Lee Jesse. Thank you, mate. He's definitely somebody I'd love to see at the club, and I'm sure you guys have enjoyed having him there as well. And congratulations, by the way, on what looks like a guaranteed promotion up to the Premier League. It's going to be great to see Leeds back in there. I have a lot of uncles who are Leeds fans, and I've always had a lot of time for them. And the fact that you guys and United hate each other, that gets bonus points for me as well. Love your vid, said Owen Rundle. Thank you so much, Owen. Wow, I'm still blown away by compliments like that. Who do you think should be Liverpool's player of the season, said CMF 17? I would say Sadio Mane or Jordan Henderson. That's my comment. I know a lot of people think it should definitely be Hendo. A lot of people think it should be Trent. A lot of people think it should be Sadio. Some people for Mo. And I suppose it is what you like. What I don't want to see happen is when it goes to the vote for player of the season, I don't want to see the vote split, because I think that's what cost Virgil van Dijk the Ballon d'Or, is when we had Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk all picking up votes, and then Lionel Messi goes and wins the Ballon d'Or. And I think it was because our vote was split. So I hope that doesn't happen, and then maybe Kevin De Bruyne, who has had a magnificent season, no denying that whatsoever, comes and sneaks in and gets the PFA Player of the Year. So I just wouldn't mind. I would love to see Hendo get it, if I'm being honest. I mean, my heart says Jordan Henderson, but if I was casting a vote, I'd probably go for Sadio Mane, but, it's just what you like, really, isn't it? Does Adama Traore fit our philosophy of play? I don't know. What is our philosophy of play with regard to Adama Traore? Like, is he a good player? Yes. Is he still a little bit raw? Yes, to me, he's a little bit raw. Wolves' system is suited to get the best out of Adama Traore, so I don't know if it will be the same at Liverpool. I don't know if he'd get as much of the ball at Liverpool. But what I'm sure of is he would improve at Liverpool, because Nuno is a great coach at Wolves, no doubt about that. But I think Jurgen Klopp could bring any player onto the next level. You only have to look at how well he's coached the players that are at the club now. So, I don't know, but I hope we get him. I do. I'm not going to lie, I do hope we get him. Right, what else have we got? First bit of merchandise released on the channel as well. Big of a shout out to Mr. Crosby for that one. So let me just get this up. There you go. The Anfield Agenda Premier League Champions mugs are now available. As you can see, the Premier League trophy there, and because we won it in 2020, that's what the number 20 is for. And if you want to have a look at those mugs, there is a link in the description of the stream as well. Brings you to the Anfield Agenda Teespring page where you can buy those mugs. If you're a member of the channel, make sure that you check the community tab of the Anfield Agenda YouTube page, because there is a discount code there for all of our members, as we promised. But the mugs are absolutely flying. I have to say, they're absolutely flying. And I'm delighted for Connor, because this is Connor's baby. This is all Connor's revenue. So, if you love Mr. Crosby, you want to show him some appreciation, you want to get yourself a Champions mug, there is a link in the description. And thank you to everybody who has bought them up to date, because we didn't expect there to be as much people buying them as there has been. We always held off on the merchandise, but Connor just wanted to get this out to celebrate the fact that we are champions of the motherfucking league. So shout out to Mr. Connor Crosby again for all his great work, and again, link in the description. Right, let's move on. Connor said the mugs are actually under the description on the YouTube app now as well. There you go. Look, he heard his name being mentioned and he fucking jumps into the chat. Here's the sound of a pound note and he's in there like a light. Look at him. You gotta love these cultures and their money. You know, these farmers. There's no subsidies here, Crosby. No subsidies for you farmers with these mugs. But anyway, we move on. Let me just lower down this a little bit. I think I'm a smidgen loud. There you go. Right. Hi, Craig. Just turned on the stream. How are you? And is Awar still a target? I think he's still a target, yes. I mean, I've not read anything to suggest that he isn't still a target, so it's just a matter of, do we pull the trigger or do we hang off and wait a little bit? Joanne Fisher said that she's ordered her mugs. Nice one, Joanne. Thank you very much. Shout out to Ellie as well. I know that Ellie watches, but she's not allowed to have a YouTube channel because she's still young, but she did message us on Instagram to say that her dad had bought 2 mugs. So well done to Dad as well on that one, and thank you very much for the ongoing support. Right, what else have we got? Loved them, the class at Bernard Sweeney with regard to the L mugs. I might even get myself one, but like everybody else, believe it or not, I'd have to fucking buy one. Like everybody else. I might get a discount, but I still have to buy one if I want one. Do you think we'll sign Kikir this summer? Said LO5 Stadiums, or Lost Stadiums. I'm not sure which way I'm supposed to pronounce it. It's gone quiet. It's gone quiet, mate. And we've spoke about Ergkan Kikir so many times on this stream. Trabzonspor goalkeeper, somebody who's long been linked with the club. What gets me is I've seen variations of the transfer fee from 15 million right up to 30 million. Would you take Angel Gomez from United, whose contract is up? I did read, Dylan, that he's going to leave Manchester United because his contract is up. He was offered a new deal, but he just doesn't feel that he'll get the game time there. So, I don't know. I don't know, mate. I haven't seen... I know Mark Goldbridge talks very highly about Angel Gomez. I remember watching a stream before and him talking about the youngsters at United, and he was somebody that he thought was, a bright talent. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, it would have to be not blocking the pathway for somebody else who's already at the club. Craig, can you do the Hendo Shuffle? It would be class. I absolutely cannot do the Hendo Shuffle, mate. I'll keep telling you. All I have in my repertoire of dancing is the dad shuffle. Is when you get to a certain age and you're a father, that's all you have. Do you know what I mean? Right, let's get into some more news. The Reds might have to wait a little bit longer than was previously expected to get their hands on that Premier League trophy. As I reported yesterday, the trophy presentation is going to take place in the last home game of the season, which is against Chelsea. Now, because Chelsea have progressed to the semi-final of the FA Cup, that game will not be on the July the 18th, Saturday, July the 18th, which was originally intended as a date, although that was flexible because of television broadcast. But the FA Cup semi-finals are now going to take place that weekend, which means the game against Chelsea is likely to be pushed back maybe 3-4 days to midweek the following week. So I guess we're going to have to just wait 3 or 4 more days to see Jordan Henderson get his hands on that Premier League trophy. But you know what they say, good things come to those who wait. We've waited long enough for this. We can wait 4 more days. Look, it is what it is. I just wanted to bring it to you guys because we spoke about it yesterday and we said that it was going to be that weekend. But, you know, because Chelsea progressed, it's going to be pushed back. Something that caught my eye today, by the way, and something that actually shocked me. The Premier League title winning odds for next season are out. And you'll be amazed to know that Liverpool aren't favourites to retain the Premier League title. Manchester City are the bookies' favourites to go on and win it. So here's just, a few of the odds for next season if you fancy putting a flutter on. I don't even know which bookies these are with, but these are the odds that were reported. So Manchester City are the favourites to win the Premier League at 5-4. Liverpool, the best you can get out there is 7-4 apparently on them. Chelsea 16-1. Manchester United 25s, Tottenham 50-1, Arsenal 80-1, and Leicester 250-1. Now, I know that there are a lot of Manchester United fans out there who think that they might do it next season. A lot of Chelsea fans who think that they could push Liverpool and Manchester City as well. The bookies think otherwise. 16-1 for Chelsea and 25-1 for Manchester United to go and win the Premier League title next season. So I hope that brings home a little bit of the harsh realities of the gap between City and Liverpool to the rest of the chasing pack, because even if you go out and strengthen as things currently stand, the bookies don't see anything other than maybe Manchester City and Liverpool going at it head to head again next season. I would disagree with the odds there a little bit, but hey, make us underdogs. They made us underdogs when we won the Champions League. They made us underdogs this season. We went and won the Premier League, so keep making us underdogs and watch and see what happens. What do you guys think of those odds though? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Liverpool, you never walk alone, said we'll win it again next year. It doesn't matter, said Red Wolf. Manchester City are always favourites, said Sipsco. They are. They're always fucking favourites. Champions League, they've never won it. But every year for the past few years, they're there as favourites. Go figure. I don't think we'll win it against Manchester City. I don't think... What do you mean by win it against Manchester City? That's confused me, Matthew. We've already won it, mate. In case you haven't heard, we are the champions. I don't know if you win the game against Manchester City, if that's what you're talking about on Thursday, or you're talking about next season, but either way, we'll have to wait and see. If we get players, we can retain it, said Matthew Evans. Liverpool have only lost 2 league games in 2 seasons, said Anthony Davis, which is true. 2 games in 2 fucking seasons, and we're potentially going to hit 200 points in 2 seasons. So again, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to this group of Liverpool players that the bookies don't see them as favourites to retain it. Maybe they're looking at the fact that Manchester City could be out of Europe next season. We've got the Court of Arbitration for Sport ruling coming in the next couple of weeks that will let us know whether they'll be in the Champions League next year or not. Maybe that's come into play. I don't know. But again, just take from it what you will. Jesus Chambers said Chelsea will challenge next season. I don't think that they will, mate. I don't think that they will. Much like Leicester this season, they might have a good period where they're up there, but I think the cream will rise to the top, and the cream right now are Liverpool and Manchester City, and I don't see that changing next season. I think it's going to be a race for third and fourth again, but that's just my humble opinion as a fan of the current Premier League motherfucking champions. What do you think about Arthur going to Juve, said Adzer. Arthur's gone to Juve for 72 million quid, I think. And then Miralem Pjanic is going the other way. I think there's 9 million along with Miralem Pjanic or something like that. I think it's they paid over the odds for Arthur, if I'm being honest. 72 million in this market seems about 22 million too high for me, but again, it's Juventus' transfer business. Barca have got themselves a really good player in Pjanic. I think he's 29 or 30 years of age. Actually, I think he's 30 years of age. So, a strange one, if you ask me, to pay that much for somebody who's 30 years of age. But, especially in this window, by the way. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, either way, I don't think either of them are as good as Liverpool. So, who cares, really? Sam said, I'm your biggest fan, Craig. Is that you, Stan? I'm your biggest fan? I don't know. Thank you, I think. Kind of worries me a little bit. No, I'm only joking, mate. Thank you, Sam, for watching. I really appreciate it. We're only beaten by Watford, said Jack. Watford. I know, and we weren't just beaten by Watford to give them credit, mate. We were battered by Watford that day. They were thoroughly deserving of their 3-0 victory, and Troy Deeney had a good game and bullied Dejan Lovren all day long. I'm really good, Daniel Morton. Thank you for asking. I hope you are as well. It's pronounced Jesus. No, mate, it's pronounced Jesus, and that's what I'm going to call it. You can go all Spanish and call it Jesus all you want, but I'm going to call you Jesus, pal, because that's how I pronounce it. You're not Gabriel Jesus, pal, so to me, you're Jesus Chambers. It's just cooler. Do you know what I mean? It feels cooler to me. But if you want to be called Jesus, mate, I'm only joking with you. I would call you whatever way your name is pronounced, sir, and thank you very much for watching. I'm only having a bit of fun with you. Bet £1,000 on Liverpool to win it at 7-4 tomorrow, said Michael Lee. Right, another bit of news for the Reds. A little bit of it in addition to the backroom staff. So Chris Morgan will rejoin Liverpool ahead of next season. He had previously been at Anfield for 10 years before leaving in 2016. After spells working with the FA, LA Galaxy and Crystal Palace, he eventually went on to become Arsenal's head of physiotherapy 2 years ago. But he will return to Jurgen Klopp's backroom staff ahead of next season. So welcome back, Chris. And yeah, good news there. I mean, obviously a very well-experienced man. I don't know what his exact role is at Liverpool, whether he'll be head of physiotherapy again or whether he'll take up another position of Jurgen Klopp's backroom staff. But again, great to have an old face back. It was like when Pep Linders came back as well. It was lovely to see him return, albeit, you know, it was sad that it didn't work out for him in management at that period in time, but lovely to see him come back as well. Craig, are you from the north or south? I am from very much the south, mate. I'm from the southeast, actually. Originally from Dublin, but now I live in County Wexford, which is supposed to be the sunny southeast of Ireland, but not very sunny at the minute. Although, look, I did get a bit of a tan lately. Right, keep your comments coming, ladies and gentlemen. I have one more piece of news to talk about, and then I'm going to dip into the chat for the last 15 or 20 minutes, so get your comments ready. So Nike have released the new look Premier League ball for next season, and it's going to be called the Nike Flight Ball. And I had a look to see how much this ball costs, and I nearly fell off my fucking chair when I had a look. £119.99p for a fucking football. Yes, you heard me right. £119.99p for a fucking football. I don't know. What does this ball blow me? What does it do? What does it do for £119.99? Honest to fucking Jesus, what does it do? Other than be a nice looking football, which is kind of weird because if you look at it, and I'm sure a lot of you will have seen this ball, it's got kind of divots or whatever you want to call it. It looks like a golf ball to me. It's a bit weird. But apparently it's more aerodynamic, but I'm sure that we hear this every single year when the new ball comes out. But Nike are going to be our partners, our kit manufacturers for the next few years. So, I don't know. I just hope this isn't a sign to come about the price of the Liverpool shirts, because £119.99p for a football seems fucking astronomical to me. I mean, there's no way on earth I'd pay that. I'm sure there might be B-Tech replicas of it available for a lesser price, but that is the price for the actual ball. £119.99p of your hard-earned pounds. Again, it's called the Nike Flight Ball if you want to have a look at it. Sky Sports have a picture of it up on their website as well. That's pretty much the news that I have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Again, just a reminder that if you want to become a member of the channel, all you have to do is hit that blue join button. Membership's just 99p a month for Anfield Agenda FC, and you get use of all those cool custom emojis that Connor Crosby has designed, and you also get the Anfield Agenda badge beside your name. That badge changes colour depending how long you're with us. When you start off, it'll be bronze, then silver, then gold, and then the big shiny Anfield Agenda red. And also you get access to our Discord group. So if you're a member already and you haven't joined our Discord group, check out the community tab on the YouTube channel, and there will be a link there to bring you to the Discord group. You'll only see it if you're a member. And also, members' comments appears in green to me, so it's easy for me to spot it. Kent Coastal Holiday Let's at £119. At that price, did the whole Liverpool team sign it? No, mate. And why always CT Media said, nah, I'll stick to the £20 miter ball. That's me as well, mate. Do you know what I mean? You get a good football for 20 quid, 25 quid maximum. Luke McKeever said, prediction versus City. Luke, I'm going to hang off, mate, and give it a prediction. And the reason I'm saying this is, when I finish this stream with you guys, I'm going to record our first of two previews. So I'm having a chat with Dom Rich, who's a Manchester City fan. We're going to do a preview show together. I'm sure you guys know who Dom Rich is. If you don't, check out his YouTube channel. I will, of course, put a link in the description of that video. And then I'm going to do our proper preview tomorrow as well, where you guys get to have your say. I'll do my starting 11 team prediction, my score prediction, and we'll have a proper look ahead to that massive game coming up at the Etihad on Thursday. A game where, of course, Pep Guardiola's men are going to give the champions a guard of honour onto the Etihad pitch. And congratulations to them on doing that. It's a touch of class from them and well done. But, you know, we are fucking champions. Oh, did I not mention that? We're champions. Yes, we are champions of the Premier. 30 years? Nah, mate, bin it. It's gone. Champions. Do you know what I mean? First of many now. So, back on our motherfucking perch. Right, what else have we got? We are the champions, my friend, yet again. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Fabinho's the best central defensive midfielder in the league. Thoughts, Craig? He's one of the best. Yes. I mean, it depends which way you're looking at it. I know Kante for Chelsea plays a bit further forward these days, but he's excellent. You can play him anywhere. Ndidi at Leicester is good, but he's not up to the calibre of Fabinho. So, yeah, maybe. I think he's definitely one of the best in Europe in that position. So, he's got to be one of the best in the Premier League. It's good to see him returning to form, actually, using the Fabinho one. What a strike that was against Crystal Palace. I mean, keeper absolutely no chance. Myself and Connor were almost in shock here. But we know Fabinho has that in his locker. And again, on Thursday for the Manchester City game, we will, of course, be doing a watch-along of the game. We'll be doing it on both Hot Mic and on, let me just get this image up, sorry. We'll be doing it on Hot Mic and on YouTube, and I'll be joined by Connor Crosby for the game. Much like the last game, Crosby's going to be on audio only, out of your camera shot, but he will be with me in my house for this game. We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be class. If you don't know what Hot Mic is, it's an app that allows you to sync up our commentary to your television. It's a cool piece of kit. You can download it from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Again, also link in the description. And there is your welcome code to sign up. If you sign up with that code, you're helping us out financially. It doesn't cost you a penny. The app is free. Downloading it's free. Using it's free. There are no ads on the app. And you pretty much get the same setup that you get here on YouTube. So I think you'll like it. Anyone that has tried the app speaks highly of it. So there is the sign up code if you want to download that app. Right, now 10 or so minutes left. Get your comments in. I'm just going to go through them quick fire, as many as I can. Again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, because we're closing in on our season target of 40,000 subscribers. Can't believe we're getting there, but thank you so much. Right, here we go. Do you think Liverpool can still dominate the league if all our rivals spend? Said Benjamin Terrell. It depends, mate. I mean, again, I want to talk about continuity because it's important, but it depends who signs who. Do you know what I mean? If Manchester City were to go out there and sign Kylian, Mbappe, Koulibaly and some other amazing player, then I would have to say it's going to be difficult. But it looks like all clubs are going to be a little bit wary about this transfer window, and all clubs are going to kind of wait to see how the next few weeks develop. So I think there might be a lot of late business in this window, and maybe some players included in loans and players included in almost trades that we don't see too much of in sport, actually, or in football I should say. Right, what else we got? Some of the top sides can snap up a few decent players from relegated teams. Said Scott, you'll never walk alone. Yep, and we do know the Reds love an old relegation, what do we call it? A relegation bargain bin basement, or whatever you want to call it. And I want Todd Cantwell. If we were to look at clubs who are going to be relegated, and it looks like Norwich will, as I said earlier on in the stream, I'd love Liverpool to go and get Todd Cantwell. Thoughts on João Moutinho from Wolves? Well, he's way at the latter part of his career, isn't he? What a player João Moutinho has been, by the way. But yeah, he's getting to the latter stages of his career, so not somebody who I'd like to see at the Reds. Mark Caldwell said the title looks sexy with our colours. Premier League champions at last. Oh, we're champions. Did somebody say we're champions? Yeah, we're champions, bitch. We've got the trophy to prove it, and we're going to just add it to the collection of trophies. And for any Evertonians watching, trophies are what happen when you win something. I know you have cuckoo clocks and all of that stuff, but do you know what I mean? Trophies and all that jazz. Congratulations, Craig, said Talk MU. Thank you very much, mate. Very kind of you to come in and say that. Really appreciate you taking the time to do so. Do you know what? There's been a lot of really nice United fans, Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, Manchester City fans that have come in and genuinely congratulated us on what we've achieved this season, and it restores my faith in football fans. It really does. So thank you very much, mate. I don't want Bournemouth to go down, said Gabriel. I don't want them to go down either. I like a plucky underdog. I like Bournemouth. I like Eddie Howe. I like the fact that they're up in the Premier League with, a 10 or 11,000 seater stadium with the vitality. I hope that they stay up as well. Who do you think deserves to come up from the Championship? Leeds and West Brom look nailed on, and then you're talking about a very close race actually for the final spot in the playoffs. Fulham, Brentford. I wouldn't mind seeing Fulham come back up. And Forest for my wife, because my wife's a Forest fan. I use the term fan very loosely there, by the way, but yeah, she wants Forest to come back up. Do you think we'll sign Todd Cantwell this summer, said Ryan? Mate, anybody who I say to you we can or we will or won't sign will be guesswork. I'd like us to sign him, but I have no information on who we'll sign. And anybody that tells you that they do have information on who we're going to sign is probably bullshitting you. And you know I love to call out ITKs on here because the truth is that there are very, very few people who know Liverpool's transfer activity or what Liverpool will be looking to do this summer. Outside of journalists, of course, who may get a little tip for a little nod from the club every now and again. But there are a lot of people out there who are just going to be just filling your heads full of bullshit, looking for clicks, looking for traffic, looking for views. And I've always been honest. I've always said I get no inside information on Liverpool Football Club. All I do is bring you guys some articles. We have a conversation about them. We talk about Koulibaly till we're blue in the face. We talk about Houssem Aouar. We talk about Adama Traore and we see what happens. Really want West Ham to go down so Ken Coastal Holiday lets. Oh yes, oh god yes. Let me just say this very clearly and very precisely. I have nothing against West Ham fans as a whole, but Karen Brady can fuck right off. In fact, I almost made this little dude with Connor for Karen Brady, Mr. Null and Voider, because Karen Brady wanted the league null and voided. Well, hopefully the fucking chickens come home to roost and West Ham and that beautiful new stadium of theirs end up in the Championship. And I promise you, all this hatred is just based off Karen Brady, because I have nothing against West Ham fans whatsoever. In fact, some of them are some really lovely people, but Karen Brady can take her opinions and that piece of a shit newspaper that she writes for and ram them up her fucking hole, because nobody gives a fuck what she has to say. You annoying person. Oh, she does my head in with her null and void nonsense. Right, what else have we got? Are we signing Jadon Sancho? I don't know, Jesse. I mean, Jurgen Klopp did say that Jadon Sancho would look good in a red shirt, but he kind of said he'd be surprised as anybody if Jadon Sancho ended up at Liverpool this summer. But he did say this summer. Now, I want to cast your mind back to a previous stream where we spoke about Jan Åge Fjørtoft, who we had a chat with on the channel. And Jan Åge Fjørtoft said that it's not unusual for deals to be done in Germany where players sign a year in advance of moving. We've seen that with Naby Keita, obviously at Liverpool, and maybe that might be the case with Jadon Sancho. Maybe no club is going to have the money, the 100 million plus, to go and buy him this summer. There are loads of talk of United, of course, and I'm not ruling out that possibility, but I also don't want to rule out the possibility of a deal being done a year in advance that might see him stay at Dortmund and go wherever it might be the following year. Don't be a Karen, said Liz Golden. Yes, that's some very good advice, Liz. Don't be a Karen. Nobody likes a Karen. Right, congratulations to Pochettino's son on his new Spurs contract, said Mark. I didn't even know Pochettino's son was at Spurs, so there you go. But congratulations to him nonetheless. Dortmund chairman said he expects Sancho to stay with them next season. Said Liverpool, you'll never walk alone. Yeah, but chairmans are always going to come out and say that, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? They have to play the game of, well, this player's not going anywhere. We don't want him to go. He's staying here. Everything that I've seen suggests that Sancho wants out of Dortmund. But again, it's all about someone putting the readies down on the table, isn't it? And if nobody has the money, then he won't go anywhere. We've gone and won the league. You should have believed us. You should have believed us, mate. You're right. We have gone and won the league. Talk Manchester United said it was fitting. The time was the 96th minute. A fitting tribute for the 96 who never came home, which was a tragedy of the whole of football in England. Rest in peace. You're a class act, sir. Genuinely a class act. Thank you. And you're right. It was rather poetic that there was 6 minutes of added on time at the end of that Chelsea-Manchester City game. And when the clock struck 96 minutes, the ref blew the whistle. Liverpool were crowned Premier League champions. And you're right, it wasn't lost on a lot of us, mate, the fact that it was 96. And again, class act. Thank you for coming in, mate, with that. Again, look, this is why I fucking love our subscribers as well, because they're in there thanking you as well, because this is the great group we have on here. We often talk about community on this channel, and that's what we are on here. We're a family. We stick together. We celebrate together. We bitch and moan together. We talk shit together, but we also welcome people in together, and we like and respect people who come in and show us that respect. So thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Right. What have we got? Respect Liverpool, thank you very much. That's why you should give Klopp time. I don't know what you mean by Klopp time. Klopp has had time, loads of time, done really well with that time as well. I mean, you might not have noticed, but we've only gone and won the Premier League, the Champions League, the Club World Cup, the Super Cup. So we're doing alright, mate. Thiago GTA number 1 is saying, yeah, so look, there was links to Liverpool to 2 players from Bayern Munich who have 1 year left on the contract. Thiago, which I'm sure you guys have read about as well, he's 29 years of age. I'd be amazed if we go and sign him at 29 years of age, particularly if it's for the 70 million that I've seen mentioned for that Bayern Munich might want for Thiago. Nah, not a chance that happens at that price. David Alaba, though, is somebody who intrigues me, somebody who has 1 year left on his Bayern Munich contract. Somebody who I think is about 27 years of age, if my memory's right, and it usually isn't. He's got 1 year left. He can play at left back, centre back, and in midfield. Very versatile player. We know Klopp loves a bit of versatility, and again, somebody who I think could add a bit of steel and a bit of a more winners mentality to this group. So I wouldn't mind having a look at him personally. Scott, you'll never walk alone. Welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, buddy, the newest member of the family. Lovely to have you with us. And look at this again in our chat. Welcome, Scott. Everybody straight away. Absolutely love you guys, and I love the fact that you welcome new members into our family. Man City won't win the league next season because they'll lose many of their players with the Champions League ban, said Ryan Gerrard. And look, there's already been talk of maybe Kevin De Bruyne moving on if Manchester City's ban is upheld, because his career is heading into, well, he's in his prime right now, and he might want to move on. And so all I'm saying is, Kevin, if you want to move, pal, fulfill your boyhood dreams. Come to the Reds. We'll win you a Champions League, pal. We'll do it for you. Come here. Play behind our front three, mate. Oh, imagine. I know it's not going to happen, but we can dream. We're allowed to dream. Right, Rabadan, thank you so much for the super chat, mate. Let me break out a bit of Newland there just to celebrate while I'm reading it. I'm going to go out on a limb and predict that Chelsea will be our strongest competitors next season, not City. They'll finish 13 points behind. It's a very bold statement, sir. I'd like to see what business Chelsea do for the remainder of the window, but there's no denying that Frank Lampard has had a very good first season with Chelsea. Still, obviously, in the FA Cup, right up there in the Champions League places as well, and brought through some young talent. Of course, some of that was a bit enforced because last summer they weren't allowed back into the window, and that has been removed, and they can now free to sign players. They've brought in some pretty good players, to be fair. They brought in Timo Werner. I'm going to get rid of Newland because he's distracted me. They've brought in the Hakim Ziyech as well from Ajax. There's talk of Onana, they're looking at him as well. Now, something I said to you guys a while ago, actually, that a lot of people laughed at me about, was that I thought Kepa may move back to Spain. And it looks like if they're going to go after Onana, that Kepa could well move back to Spain. So it'll be interesting to follow Chelsea's transfer business this summer, no doubt about that. What have we got? That's a good call. I think Chelsea will be very strong next year, said Dylan. Chelsea fans say they've helped us win the league. The only thing they helped us win was the Super Cup. Look, any Chelsea fan that thinks that just has to listen to their own manager, who came out and said that they didn't help us win the league. We helped ourselves win the league by being by far and away the best team in the league. What Chelsea did was beat a very good Manchester City team, but they did it for themselves because they want to stay in the Champions League places, and it was a great result, and there's no doubting that it helped us, it benefited us, and it allows us to get that guard of honour at the Etihad. But I don't think that they helped us win the league. I think that Jurgen Klopp, that's doing a massive disservice to Kloppo and his players, and the backroom staff as well, and the fans. Frank Lampard's a good manager, but not as good as Gerrard, said Ash. Would you sign Ruben Neves? Look, I think any team in the Premier League would not mind having Ruben Neves there. Again, when I talk about Ruben Neves, I always hark back to the fact that Pep Linders was his coach for 7 years, I think, at Porto when Neves was coming through. So there is a good relationship there if ever there was genuine interest in Ruben Neves. Now, with a really strong Portuguese contingent that's at Wolves, I don't know if he's going to want to move. And Wolves are pushing for Champions League football. They're still in the Europa League as well. So he's at a good club right now, a club that are looking to continue to progress. So I don't know. There's talk of what's his name, Jimenez moving on. Atletico were linked with him. There's been talk of other Wolves players. Obviously, we've been linked with Adama Traore, so they're not going to want to have their squad gutted. So I take him. I think any club would take him, but I don't think he would be a priority. Right, just one or two more questions before I call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. And again, just a reminder that we are moving really close towards hitting 40,000 subscribers. So if you do enjoy the channel, then please do hit that subscribe button. And also, if you want one of these sexy ass Champions mugs, there is a link in the description as well. And there is a link, I think, on the YouTube page of Anfield Agenda. If you want to buy those mugs, if you're a member, you get a 10% discount. There is a link there's a discount code, I should say, on the Anfield Agenda community tab for all of our members. But those mugs are available in the description below. The first merchandise released from Anfield Agenda. So thank you to Connor again for all of his hard work. And right, what else have we got? That'll be 3 in a row, said Hassan. Smexy merchandise, said Thomas McGee. Thank you, Thomas. Champs, said LFC fan 96. Yeah, we are. Road to 40k. It has been a long road, mate, hasn't it? It really has been a long road, but we're closing in on it right now. I'm trying to find the image for it because I keep losing it where I am. That one, there we go. Right, yes, there you go. As you can see, we are closing in on that amazing target of 40,000 subscribers. We're about 180 or so away. So if you are enjoying the stream, please do hit that subscribe button and help us reach that target. Where's the can of Diet Chav? Do you know, I don't really drink much these days, Big LC. I have one can a day, and that's usually at about 2 a.m. So I'm on this stuff, mate. I'm on the water, just trying to be a little bit healthier. But good spot, mate. Good spot. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call that a night. I'm going to go now and record the preview with Dom Rich, the Manchester City fan, ahead of that game on Thursday. That'll be up on the channel in the next day or two. I'll be back here tomorrow night at 8:30, where I'll do a live preview for you guys. So get your team predictions ready. Get your score predictions ready. I'm going to have mine done as well, as always. We'll talk through the starting 11. We'll talk through what to expect from the game. Thank you very much for watching, as always. I hope that you're keeping well. I hope that you stay safe. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you head off. Give us a thumbs up. If you're watching this later on, please do let us know your thoughts on what we spoke about in the comment section below. Most importantly, I want to say another thank you to you all for what's been a fantastic season again here on Anfield Agenda. Your support never ceases to amaze me, so I don't know why you fuckers watch, but I appreciate the shit out of each and every one of you for doing so. And look, I'm going to end how I always do. Take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them, and up the motherfucking champions of England. Go on! Talk